We're in the Vermont City area.
Friday.
And
Those are less than 30 tanks.
really good about my training.
I needed, I have a few 11 tanks, 5-gallon cans. Because I kept 5 as a reserve. Yeah, just in case. But I pissed those away on the 17th of March when we drink delivery at home. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Finance for the town of Summers on May 26, 2026. Members present are Paul Hart, Bruce Devlin, Joe Talisano, Bill Salka, and Mike Parker. For the record, we've been given notice from Brian that the resignation of Kathy Devlin has been recorded.
Yep.
And from this point on, the Board of Finance has 60 days within which to appoint a successor member. We prepared a flyer for the website. I guess we can talk about that at a later point in the meeting if that's okay with you. We have, as everybody on the Board of Finance and those in the room must know, that the budget, as approved, was not approved at referendum, at town referendum. And so we're back to the drawing board. And that's one of the main orders, if not the most important order of business for tonight. Before we begin to deal with the issue of the budget, I'd like to ask each member of the Board of Finance to think about and give opinion, and it's only an opinion, we can be right or wrong on this subject, but to give opinion as to what you think will be necessary by way of decrease in the budget, or maybe you think an increase is warranted in order to get a passed budget in the town of Summers. And I'm asking you, in making those comments, I'm asking you to set aside, and I know it's not possible to do it entirely, but I'm asking you to give less weight to what you may think a particular budget needs or doesn't need in terms of money. Like, for example, a school, if you think the school might lose a teaching position if the budget were lowered, I'm asking you to set that aside and just concentrate on the notion of what you think needs to be done by way of decrease in the budget. How much do you think needs to be decreased in order to obtain passage? And I promise that I'll give you my opinion as well. But and the reason that I'm asking you to do this is because we don't have really hard data from any of the folks that are responsible for running this town as to what they could cut or what they couldn't cut or what its impacts might or might not be.
You might want to hear that first, though. We've come prepared to talk about it.
We understand that. But I'm interested in trying to figure out where we need to go with the budget number, because I don't want them to cut any more than is necessary. Okay? And I don't want to have to do this again if we can avoid it. All right? It's costly. It costs the town money. It costs us time and energy trying to figure this out. So with that said, Joe, I'll pick on you first. What do you think?
Well, my concern is a little more strategic. I worry that the additional funds we got from the state may or may not be continuous. So if they're not continuous and we come in very low, next year there'll be drastic cuts or a massive mill increase. So I would like to err on the side of like a $1.5 million, maybe around a mill and a half. Because I fear, and we don't have data about if that was a one-time.
They haven't guaranteed that the additional funds will be recurring in future years.
So that's from a strategic level. I think that's my biggest concern. My second concern is we have an extremely difficult time communicating with our citizens about what the true impact of the reeval, the new mill rate is, and I don't have an answer to that. We've done flyers, we've done websites, we have a fancy sign out front, but just before I left, Facebook was blowing up with, misinformation about, the mill rate's 30 and it's going to go up, and it's just completely wrong.
Yep.
And I don't have an answer for that unless we fire up a radio station and, I don't know. So that's my thought, and I'm thinking more long-term than short-term.
Joe, you're at something like 1.5.
1.5. I know Brian has a CFO recommendation. It's around 1.5, 1.55.
Okay. Paul, what do you think?
I'm of the same mind. I think for years we were under a mill. Last year we were over a mill, but not by much. At 1.5, we have to sell it. But I don't want to do. I don't want to cut more than we need to, while we can still rally support and get people to come out maybe that weren't convinced to come out the first time. So I'm at 1.5 as well.
Okay. Bruce?
From my perspective, the vote was very close, and I suspect that the people who would have voted yes were complacent in thinking they didn't need to show up, and in reality they did. I think one of the things we heard at the public hearing was people were actually upset that we had used the reserves to pay for the budgets over the last several years, and they kind of got used to that, maybe not fully appreciating it. I think we were transparent. Every meeting, people were saying we weren't, but if they watched any Board of Finance meeting, we said it in every single one, every budget we've approached, that we were going to take reserve funds. So it's not a fair comment on their part, because we are a public meeting, they're recorded. So I think any cuts we make are another kicking the can down the road, because I know you don't want me to talk about positions, but it's invariably has to be to make those kind of cuts. Or it has to be kicking the can down and pushing off something we need to do now until a future year. I think we got pretty loud and clear from the town that they don't want us kicking the can down the road. They want to be taxed as we go. And my inclination would honestly be to not cut much of anything. I think we could run the budget just the way it was and get it passed, because I think it was a 26 vote margin. I think if people realized the importance of voting, I think we could get it passed as is.
Isn't there going to be confusion, though? Not everybody's going to know that we have another vote next week. You might get more people to come out, but you're probably going to lose people.
There could be confusion, but I feel it was so close, I'm not even sure I think we should cut anything. If we did, the absolute most would be to get it to 1.55. But I do feel that's kicking the can down the road once again. I think the Board of Ed and the town did a phenomenal job cutting their budgets to a level where they could maintain services and maintain the proper structures for both departments. And I don't feel we should really be forcing them to cut anymore.
So you said two things, 1.55 and...
If we have to, that's the max. I would prefer to just stay where we are, to be honest.
So you don't want to cut anything?
Nope.
Okay. What do you think, Bill?
I think we have to cut something.
There's a message.
Microphone on.
I think we have to cut something, but less is better. I'm okay with 1.5.
Okay. I think that the 1.5 is probably a reasonable number. My concern is that having voted no successfully on the budget, that breeds more negativity, not more positivity. As Joe points out, we've had trouble communicating to the populace just how important it is to vote positively on the budget, how important it is for the school, how important it is for the town to maintain services. And so I'm afraid that if there's another negative vote, that will force us to really take some cuts that are really painful.
Really painful.
And so that's why I asked for this exchange, to see where we are, because I know all of us are trying to we all know what the budgets have been like, what the presentations have been like, we all know how important they are, and yet, on the other hand, we've been told we don't know what we're talking about. And
Can I just say, Mike, just one thing? I know I don't want to interrupt you again, but East Windsor, it's my understanding, they went through something recently. They had a similar slim margin, and they didn't change a thing. East Granby, I'm sorry, East Granby.
right. And we certainly have that opportunity. I'm just suggesting that there's a downside to losing again.
I get it.
And it may not be worth the cheese. I think 1.5 will fail. A 1.5 increase will fail. But I'm willing to stand with that number because I am concerned about some of the things that you all mentioned about trying to preserve the services and not just kick the can down the road.
So how do we, and this is an open question, I mean, you're going to speak in a few minutes, how do we get the word out and communicate better? I mean, I don't have an answer. I don't know if we're even allowed to make calls.
Like the RTC and stuff can, yes, they can make calls. Yeah, they should go right down their voter rolls, call everybody, remind them it's a day to vote. Town officials can't. I can't sit in my office and call people and tell them to come vote.
We were talking 1.55, I thought, right?
1.55 is where we sit at. So and I don't want to speak for the Board of Ed's cuts because I don't know exactly what they are. The town on Thursday adopted $125,000 worth of cuts. I handed you guys all a list of what makes that up. Most of it, I'd say probably 40 to 50% of it is stuff that will be increased next year. Things like buying fire hose. You skip a year of not buying it, you got to buy 2 years worth in the future year. But they're willing to skip, a portion of the year and not buy as much as they normally would. It is reduction of a half-time FTE at the transfer station. It's a reduction in the proposed salary increases for town employees. And then just some housekeeping measures kind of after that. But so with our 125 and then the schools were like 113 and some change, puts us right at that 155 number. The new proposed mill rate would be 23.95 the way everything sits right now.
That's a reduction from
the last one was 1.73 was what went to referendum on the 19th.
1.73.
Yeah, it was a 1.73 increase. 24.13 was the proposed mill rate.
Yeah. And a mill is still worth a tenth of a mill is worth $135,000.
It's about 136.26 would be a tenth of a mill.
Okay. So let's. I know you interrupted me and wanted me to shut up, so I will. So let's hear what the school folks have to say about potential ability to cut and help us get to the 1.5. And I'm
Budget both come up.
All right, let's go. Okay, we'll go.
Shrink the
Yes.
numbers.
Okay. Okay, so to get to the 113,843 that Brian mentioned, that we were able to reduce, that would be a paraprofessional position that the para is actually resigning at the end of the school year. We would not fill that, so it's just a position cut, it's not a personnel cut. We believe that we can do without that position. It's an English language learner. The students that have been utilizing her this year seem to be doing well, and we're going to roll the dice and hope that they continue to do well. The second cut is the next two cuts were from the middle school anticipated hires. We have an open science position and an open math position. We've done interviews for those. Those are teachers that are either resigning or retiring that we would be filling. We've already held interviews with the caveat that if the budget passes, we will fill those positions. If it does not, then we will have to reevaluate. But we can reduce both of those positions based on their step on the salary schedule for teachers. $45,769 for the science position and $35,062 for the math position. So between that, the para position was $33,012. So between those three the two salary reductions and then the position that we would not fill through attrition, it's the 113,843.
Those are all the potential positions we plan to fill.
We do have an English position up at the high school that we are also trying to fill. We have a social studies position that's posted that we will also be trying to fill. The English position we've already cut. That was one of our initial reductions in the budget. The social studies position we've just heard about, so we haven't even done interviews for that position yet, so I don't know where that new hire, if we're filling that position, would end up landing on our salary schedule. We are hoping that we can keep the culinary arts position that we have proposed in the budget. It's probably the last position that we consider cutting, only because we've heard from the students repeatedly. Mike can speak to the number of times we've heard from the students saying that they want that program to come back. So it really is the very last. Again, there's nobody in that position right now.
But that's still in your budget.
It is still in our budget because we've taken serious consideration from the students.
Good.
anything further that you find that you can cut? Chromebooks? What about that pile of cash, that $200,000 pile of cash?
That has, the IT director did reduce that budget already this year, so to further reduce it would would potentially impact staff.
Where is it now? Where is that budget number?
232, I believe. Hold on, I can tell you right now.
And we are taking the old ones and selling them.
Yeah, we're turning those around, and then that's helping to offset future costs. Because as we keep Chromebooks for longer and longer, the repairs increase. 232,869. It's a 15% reduction from last year, or from this year's budget. This past year, we were at almost 275,000. So she's already reduced that based on.
And this year, it's down to 232, and the last three numbers?
869.
869.
Yep.
Thanks. Anything further?
Do we get to make a pitch on that?
Anything you can say, whatever you like, pitch whatever you like.
So this is going to come as no surprise to anybody that I agree with Bruce in that I know the Board of Ed has done the best they can do to reduce the budget. I mean, from where we started in this process, we're down about $765,000. And as you've heard, it starts to get into cutting positions and that nature where we don't want to be. Nothing drives property values like a thriving school system, right? And I think the people are enjoying their property values, and they're going to continue to enjoy their property values. And I think Selectman Keeney would agree that people in Summers have grown accustomed to a certain lifestyle and a certain town, I don't know the word I want to use, but enjoyment, a certain town enjoyment. And I find that the yes votes are maybe complacent in coming out. And this may have woken them up to say, oh, the budget isn't just automatically going to pass. We need to go out and vote. Now, there's ways to do it. I think you've got to be strategic to get the word out and creative, and probably be a little careful of what you say, but there's certainly ways to do it. But as far as, I mean, what is, if we, 155, what is that in dollars and cents?
It would be an overall increase of...
What would be a cut from where we were?
A cut from what we were? It's
700,000-800,000.
It doesn't matter. I'm not a psychologist, but my point is I don't know that gets the people that would have voted yes to come out and go, oh, now I'll vote yes. My thought is that we can get them out anyways, or we're going to end up in the same place as we were, where we got to get those people to vote yes, we're going to have to cut substantially, which I don't think benefits anybody in this town. So if I can make one last pitch, it would be to cut minimally and go back out, or just keep it right where it is and try to get the yes votes out, because 26 votes is not a lot. It was a tough day. It was 95 degrees. I don't know that the education was there for people to really want to come over here and vote.
Do we know if I know Jim Burrell on the Republican side sent around an email. Did the DTC do that as well?
I have no idea.
I talked to them.
You did?
I did. Anything further, guys?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. Timothy?
So I know the topic is clear. Bruce's comments I thought were really strong. I think that they're talking about a 26 vote deficit. I think get out the vote has got a lot to do with getting this budget passed. And any which way we can legally do it, we need to do it. I'm not sure about the restrictions or about me calling some individual and saying, hey, don't forget to vote today. I don't think that's a problem myself. My concern is erring on the side of, ooh, we can't be advocates. You know, I think that's a mistake. It really is. And that'll kill your effort to get out the vote if you start thinking that way. Also, I just wanted to mention, Brian, of course, mentioned that, they're cutting fire hose. I don't know what they're going to say with that $10,000 or something.
It's only $1,500 that they're
reducing. Yeah, they're going to have to double it next year. I mean,
right, instead of
that's one example. Most everything he's talking about is a legitimate cut. In fact, one of those is eliminating an existing position.
Yep.
I don't hear that coming from the schools, by the way. I think one of my main concerns here is equity when you're talking about budget reduction. As we know, last year, the town was asked to produce $70,000 of reductions, and the school produced zero. And I'm sure the schools will say, oh, gee, we returned $177,000 at the end of the year. Well, the town returned $188,000. And all I'm talking about is if you're going to talk about reductions, it's important to be equitable. It's important to be fair and balanced. And I think the public expects that as well. I mean, I'm sure that monies to the school have a lot to do with the value, the importance of the schools have a lot to do with home values and all of that. But we just went through a reassessment, and people could care less about what their home is worth. They're worried about what's assessed and what taxes they have to pay. So, for instance, I mean, I think that any dollar that the town puts up with regards to reduction, the schools need to put up twice that amount, which is equivalent to the overall budgets. of the schools versus the towns. Their budget is twice the size of ours. Again, I think it's a question of fairness, equity, and that's it. And Brian did a great job of speaking with the directors of the departments, very open and no problem with understanding what's going on. Explained the reductions and what they were. They're very thoughtful. I think every director paid a lot of attention to it. In fact, some of the directors thought they needed to reduce more than they actually had to reduce. So they obviously took this seriously, and I'm very proud of the town and the way we approached this, and we did it in a very open way, and I just think that we need to take into consideration this issue of equity and how the town's treated and how the schools are treated and how much you know about the budgets themselves. I think the town's budget is very open and very clear. I'm not so sure about the school's budget.
So let me ask you this. So what did we talk about today with CIP?
So it's CIP and where it sits.
It was like 50 or 60 grand.
Yeah, let me pull it back up real quick so that
Yeah.
So we have a transfer of 350 lined up. We need 209 to meet our lease obligations. And potentially 50,000 to balance out the end of this year. So if we really needed 50 grand, we could reduce capital by 50,000. But again, I mean, you start looking at future years, and you know that's going to be a driving force in future budgets, where that 50 might need to be 100 next year.
But we can always come back to the well. If we
Yeah.
have a good end of year, we can appropriate 50,000 if we need something. You know, I don't like the idea of some of these reductions, especially in the selectmen. So, and I'd offer this as a discussion that we reduce the selectmen's cut and take it out of CIP, and then if we need capital, in October, we can see what we have left at the end of the year. I mean, you don't know the end of the year numbers till October.
Yep.
But the other half of that coin is you get it down another 50,000 and you keep the selectmen's number. I think some of these reductions seem to be pretty deep. That's just my opinion. So I'll leave that for you guys to chew on for a while.
I would agree. I really don't want to see them have to cut too much. And anything in my mind that's kicking the can down the road. Yep. I mean, the hoses are a small item, but there could be others in there that are more large ticket items. I think we heard pretty loud and clear in the town meeting that they were not happy with us for using the reserve. Now, I don't think they also failed to appreciate that they didn't pay in those years. They didn't acknowledge that, but so yes, the jump now hurts that much more, but the reality is they didn't pay it.
Yep.
And I pay taxes too. It sucks.
Yep.
It is what it is. Our taxes are lower per capita than any other town.
What's our limit on appropriations before the meeting? 20?
20.
Yeah, 3 meetings and come up with 60.
They combine.
Huh?
They combine. Once you go over 20
that's
period. Yeah, no, it's
One of the things that I was about to say when Bruce decided to launch into his
I got copies for Bruce.
is that I recognize that there are a number of people who don't understand the reserve issue. Okay? The use of reserves only means that you don't have to pay money today, and every year thereafter, once we set a mill rate, and you won't have to pay it until sometime in the future. That time has come. And I don't think, and I agree, I don't think most people understand that.
No, and Joe explained it, by the way, in the meeting.
I'm certain he did. And I don't think it's a question of whether or not it sinks in or not.
Yeah. I think it's just sticker shock, honestly.
I think that in the 20-some odd years, 26 years that I've been on the Board of Finance, I don't think we've ever raised the mill rate by more than 1.25 mills in a year. I think that's been the heaviest hit we've taken. So to some people, and particularly the negatives in town, I think that they see a 1 3/4 mill increase. It was a little bit less, but pennies less. They see a raise like that as something to object to. That gives them ammunition to suggest that we're not doing something right. The third thing is that I would like to say is that we've just gone through a revamp. People have seen the mill rate come down
7.81, I think it came down.
7.81 mills. And then we're going to tag them back on for a mill, 2 mills. It was originally 2.13 mills. We reduced that because we saw we got some money from the state. But I think there's some of that in the negative side too, that we're not playing the game fairly. And I personally will not object to a 1.5 mil increase, a decrease to 1.5 mills. But I want to go on record as saying to you, I think that's going to fail. There's an old guy in this town who has some knowledge of budgetary process. What's his name?
Which one?
Marinaccio.
Oh, yeah.
And he and I were talking after the budget failed. And he said that this is now a matter of optics. Unless you do something that shakes the can enough to change the budget status significantly so that people recognize that their words have been heard, that you run the risk of another failure. And, he's another voice. He can be right or wrong as well as anybody else. But I pass that along to you simply because I think that a lot of the cuts that both the school and the town are talking about fall into the exact category of kicking the can down the road. I mean, you're not going to give up trying to find a social studies teacher in the future. You're not going to give up trying to find any of the other teachers that you decided to defer.
Yep.
That's going to come around. Yep. We're going to have to face that next year. In that sense, maybe you're right, Bruce. Maybe we ought to just not do anything and stick with the same number and see what happens. Because we're going to have to do it next year if we don't do it this year.
And the margin was so small.
I don't think the margin is significant.
I do.
I know that you do, and I know
Definitely.
that others do think it's significant. But I think that negativity breeds negativity. When they say to each other, yeah, we can get away with this, we shut them down, I think that fires more people up than the affirmative side of the equation. But that's just me.
I get it, but
I don't think that's
there's
relevant.
no real threat from my perspective. No one wants these jobs. We don't get paid anything. This is volunteer. We're not doing this because we enjoy imposing taxes. We're trying to be fiscally responsible for the town.
Right. And you're absolutely right. We're not doing this out of ego. We're not doing this because we get cash, emoluments, or anything else. We're doing this because Bill tells us we have to. But that aside, I think that if we're going to stay at 1.5 or 1.55, I think we run a significant risk of having to do this again. And that's not going to be a pleasant time for any of us.
No, but I'm okay with that. I really don't want to go below 1.55 personally, but I'm okay if we have to do this again because I think it's the right thing to do.
So before we, I think we have a sense of where we're going with this, but do we need to get some specific numbers?
Yeah, for a motion, you would need a specific number.
So my suggestion on the CIP, you guys want to hold on that? Want to save that for if it fails?
No, I think that's a good idea, and I think.
But I wanted to reduce the selectmen to cut with it.
Right. And I think that's a good idea, but I think Brian needs to work that into.
He's got to do some fancy stuff on his laptop.
So you want to do?
Is that a Chromebook, by the way?
It's not.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not.
Cycle from schools.
All right. So you're saying 300. Change the capital to 300,000 instead, and put 50.
And if we need something, we can
put 50 back in these.
Right.
Are you putting 50 back or 100 back?
50. Because other than that, we get into the leases and then,
Well, the leases are 209.
right, but there was other stuff.
Yeah, there's other liabilities that have to get met. 6. So I would do that one.
I do worry that it's a one-time influx of cash that we got. If that's the case.
That's genuinely my concern.
Next year will make this year look like a cakewalk.
Yeah, we were short 200,000 in state aid, and then all of a sudden we're plus 450. But if it's a one-time thing, then next year we're minus 500 again.
That would have nothing to do with us.
No, has nothing to do with us.
It makes you wonder, where does our nearly 7% income tax go? Besides Bridgeport, Hartford,
Waterbury.
All right.
It's not right.
And they're not doing anything to improve the outcomes of those kids there.
No. Their budget deficits are ludicrous.
Yeah, 50 million.
All right.
Their deficit's more than our budget.
Right.
Here.
I'd just like to let Brian come up with his numbers.
Yep.
Give him a chance to.
Yeah,
You should stop talking.
Shut up.
We can get 1 minute to say to get the numbers back to where they should be. 3,000. So that we have a true number.
So, Mike, my suggestion is I will say I make a motion and let Brian fill in the blanks. So he has the numbers?
We need to have the numbers on the table, I think.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just concerned with the timing of this, too. We had a month and a half before the last vote. We have a week to go before this vote.
Well, we're voting tonight.
But before the referendum comes up. It's going to mess up the turnout.
I forgot to mention that absentee ballots are not going to be available this time because the mail is too slow. So we had 12 no votes on absentee ballots, 8 plus votes. So we picked up 4 votes right there. I'm serious. You got to count the votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mail in this town,
I
is
think-
what it is. It just doesn't work.
It's everywhere.
Is it?
I mailed something to Florida. It took almost 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
It's put on the back of the dolphin. Got it there quicker.
Probably could have.
You could drive it there 7 times.
All right. So the overall budget number would be 42,737,246.
And the increase, 155?
It's a $921,126 increase, 2.2%, 1.55 on the mill rate. So the new mill rate would be 23.95.
I'd like to make a motion to have a revised budget of $42,737,246, which represents a $921,126 increase, 2.2%, 1.55 mill rate.
The second that.
Any further discussion? Do we need to have breakdown between the town and the school?
Not for this motion, no.
Not for this motion?
Nope.
That motion, you got a mill rate increase is 1.5.
Right, 1.55 mill rate increase.
Is there any further discussion?
No, I mean, I voiced my concern. I just think we have to really get creative in terms of rallying a turnout, because people who voted 2 weeks ago voted, not knowing when the next vote would come up, and it comes up fast. So, like you said, go forward with this, but we have to be prepared.
You can't use Everbridge to just announce the
No.
thing, not to say, you can't use that just to say.
Because people register for it, so you're not giving it to everybody.
So I think the DTC
Town Crier.
and RTC once again announce it. If the two parties and however else y'all are able to get it out, you can't get it out.
We can't put it out because we only reach the parent
Because you only reach the parent group,
and not everybody.
and not everybody.
Their
email
their
doesn't-
towns put up
Their email doesn't go to the
signs,
senior
street corners,
citizens, and
everything
it
like
doesn't
that.
go
It's both.
to...
Well, can't do that in
a week, though.
Would that extend to coaches of teams and such? To say, hey, there's a vote?
Well, like
I mean,
Select
people
Board
walk
said,
around.
there's nothing stopping you from calling somebody and saying, hey, the vote's coming up, and they can get the word out. It's just,
I had people that come to my office and said they didn't know.
Yeah.
2 mailers. I mean,
Oh, I have people come in the day afterwards, and they said, I never even saw the second mailer.
don't forget to vote today.
They saw the first mailer, but they came in and they were talking. I handed them. I said, "Didn't you get this?" I said, "This were the changes." They were like, "I've never seen that before." I was like, "It went out 2 weeks ago."
Is it on the digital, is it on the digital
Anything
thing at the
further
fire station?
from the members of the Board of Finance?
We're going to put it on the one in front of Town Hall, of course.
I don't remember seeing it.
The fire station is a good one for people like me who don't drive through the center of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can ask the fire department.
All in favor?
Up there.
Aye.
Motion carries. Other business that we have for tonight.
Suspense list.
Suspense
Next.
I think Brian handed out packages with
Yep.
listing in it.
Thank you.
So we are not in a position for a taxed sale. This is just writing stuff on.
Correct. So these are all either the businesses went out of business.
Yep.
We can't find them
Right.
regardless, or they died. We do have the marshal going around right now, is collecting. Most recently, he brought in about 27,000. So he's collecting on those delinquents that, if he can collect on them, it saves us from going to a
Sure.
tax sale. But if
Yep.
he can't, then
But we're not near there yet.
we had one property that was borderline eligible this year, but I think he collected on it.
Excellent.
Um,
I move to adopt the, wait a minute, where am I? Jesus, I can't find it.
Yeah, you can. Number 7.
7. I move to approve the suspense list of 21,191.04.
191.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Move the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposition? Not hearing none. Motion passes.
Next is to appoint a member to the Special Projects Committee. So I don't know how much you guys have looked at this or talked about it. The Board of Selectmen updated an ordinance back in January, February timeframe, that creates a Special Projects Committee for things like the HVAC, for things like the senior center, other large items, road paving and so forth, so that all these things can be on one circular flow, and that there's voices heard from every board, and it's not one-sided in any way, shape, or form. The committee's made up of one member of the Board of Finance, one member of the Board of Selectmen, one member of the Library Board, one member of the Board of Ed, the CFO, the Public Works Director, and then 2 residents.
One of the things that I've suggested, and I've actually talked to the victim about this, is that the Board of Finance should appoint Joe Talisano to this board because we're involved with the HVAC project at the moment, and I don't know when your board is going to kick off, but I think Joe would be a good candidate from the Board of Finance.
Great.
I agree.
Can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
You don't get to vote, Joe. I know. I'm all right.
All right.
All right, so I got
Any
Paul.
further discussion?
Who made the motion? I got Paul, and
We
then
got Paul.
Bruce second.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next is the annual audit, approval of the engagement letter, and appointment of the auditors. And I'll need your signature, Mike, upon approval.
The engagement letter is in the package. I don't know if you've taken a look at it. They always seem to go up a few $1,000s every year.
Yep.
This year is no exception.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? There's a second from
Chance.
Bill Salka. Any further discussion on the audit letter? Engagement letter? None. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposition? Hearing none. Motion carries.
I'll get your signature afterwards.
I promise to stay here and sign. I'd like to deal with the matter of Kathy Devlin's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Joe and I spoke, we took the CIP projects out.
Yeah, we wanted to table to see how this budget thing played out.
Yeah,
We'll get back to it.
yeah, we'll get back to
Side of
it
this problem.
when it's a better time.
Do we need to do anything to remove it?
Nope, just no action taken on it. Yes, so,
So we have a proposed letter that's supposed to be added to the website.
Yep.
And published throughout the town concerning applications for membership on the Board of Finance. I think you might have to adjust the dates a
I
little
was gonna
bit.
ask you if you want to change the date. Right now, it says that you'll accept applications until June 5th. That would still be right at, it'd be a week and a half from now. Do you want to extend that 1 week to go to the 12th?
I think we should go out at least 3 full weeks.
All
And
right.
you gotta be careful because we're gonna bump into the 60-day.
So it's effective as of today
Oh,
when,
it's not the date that the town clerk got it?
well, he didn't realize he got it until today when I went and asked him, and he's like, oh, it's been in my email since May 6th.
But I suspect the effective date of the resignation might cover it.
It might,
I
it's
just don't wanna-
dated May 6th.
I don't wanna run into
So
something.
we probably,
You know,
The 60 days would put us right at near the
so
beginning
we
of
probably
July.
need to do it in the next couple of weeks.
I think I would err on the side of caution, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, because I don't want
Set it.
to,
Well, the resignation date is May 6th or the 26th, or what was it? the
May
20
6th.
May 6th.
And it was delivered then.
Yep. Yeah, we have a digital stamp saying that that's when it came in, regardless of when he read the email.
So what's the start date?
May-
Legally, what's the start date?
May 6th, that's the day that it was received in the town clerk's office. It's stamped.
It's stamped May 6th.
So you have 60 days to hire.
60
60, so you have 60 days from there.
That's
so you-
different now from what your earlier opinion was, right?
Yeah. So if we get applications in by June 12th, your next regular meeting is June 23rd. You could have, potential candidates come in that night. It would be a long meeting. You could schedule a special meeting if you chose to.
I think we should separate it out.
They can't be connected, I don't think. I think we should separate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree. Yeah.
I just think that having 2 weeks for applications is a pretty short timeline.
I tend to agree. I think June 12th is a quick turnaround, or June 5th is a quick turnaround. June 12th gives you a little bit of time.
I would propose we create a subcommittee to review the applications, maybe that be chairman and vice chair, and then present their recommendations to us.
Yeah, that's usually what we do, but I'm more concerned with trying to understand how much time we should allow for applications.
Yeah, 'cause
to get the word out and to get out.
Basically need to have somebody voted on and seated before the July 4th weekend.
That would be the goal.
Yeah. We may have to do a special at the
I
end of
think you're
June.
going to have to do a special.
I think it's important to have at least 3 weeks from
The notice.
the notice for them to respond.
So you want to go till June 19th is a holiday, so till June 18th for applications to come in. That would be 3 weeks.
Right.
And then it's up to us to get.
And then, yeah, you're going to need a special meet. Well,
We should
you
probably
don't wanna
set a
do it-
special meeting so we can ensure a quorum.
I was going to say, you didn't want to do it. You don't want to do it on the 23rd for the regular, so do you want to set a special
Just do it the
for,
25th, a week later. It'll give us a week to review the,
yeah, do it that Thursday, do a
Well,
special
we have to
meeting.
have interviews.
yeah, we'll do the interviews on the 25th.
Yeah,
I mean, you have a selectmen meeting that day?
no.
Yeah, we can wrap this up by the 25th.
So June 25th,
You don't
special meeting.
necessarily have to interview every candidate, do you?
Nope.
No, but we should be fair and open about who we decide not to interview. you know
Of course.
what I mean?
So I have a question on that. That brings up my question. So this minority representation thing, does this go to all parties?
So,
How does that work?
again, something I was reading about today. It does state that they have to be from the same party as the resigning seat. If after 30 days nothing has been filled, then it can go to any party.
Well, we're already at 30 days. I mean, it's going to happen.
You're pretty close to 30 days already. But you still, I mean,
So what about
as long as
if you're
Salter stays a D,
unaffiliated?
you still have the
And
minority.
she was a Democrat, correct? And if you're unaffiliated, is that net?
No, yes, U's, I's, and D's would be the preferred candidates. An R, you'd still have the minority representation.
But then ours not from that party.
Right, but once you're past the 30 days, then you
Oh.
can go to all parties.
Okay.
Charter doesn't require a certain number of minority reps.
It doesn't, it's not specific about it.
So after 30 days, party doesn't matter?
Right, as long as you still have minority representation.
Have you been a minority long?
All right, so we can cast the net and press on it.
Yep.
So, all right, let me just write all this down so I don't screw up.
So then a June 25th special meeting,
That's a Thursday?
that's a Thursday.
7?
7 o'clock for that, Mike, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Also need a special meeting for next week on either June 2nd or June 3rd. Leave it up to you guys, but one of those 2 days to either establish a mill rate if the budget passes or establish a new budget if it fails for the 16th.
I would prefer the second.
Third's a Wednesday.
Wait, the election is Tuesday?
Election's Tuesday.
So we would have to have it at 9 o'clock?
Be like 8:15.
Which we used to do.
I'm fine with that, if that works with people.
Yeah,
Is that okay with
Because
you?
I'm out on Wednesday, so
I would be out.
it has to be Tuesday.
All right, so after the
All right.
vote,
Yep.
Put it in our calendars.
After.
nobody will be able to say, nah, 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 at the vote. All right, everybody here takes that vow, right? No, I told you so's, no.
Well, that would probably only be you. I'm saying, Mr. Chairman.
I'll give you one, though.
All right, so I'll get all that.
Yes, yes, get down to business, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all right. Everything else in the letter seemed fine to me. I'll change those dates.
And we were going to add just the address, the 600 Main Street.
Yep,
I had you on the list, right?
yep, have them mailed to 600 Main Street.
It's a lot going on, I wasn't sure.
Yep, all right, I'll get that up tomorrow.
Thank you.
So HVAC,
I believe we finally have found the right lawyer, if that's suitable.
Such a thing exists.
And this lawyer has reviewed all of the RFP proposals that have gone out over the last several years on the project and agrees that they all meet the criteria of the new statute. So we are now able to proceed and move forward, hopefully at a much more diligent and expeditious pace as we move this project along. So that is the great news. Other than that, I think the project is doing well. Steph, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Are you feeling any cool breeze over there yet?
No.
And her
I'm in
office, she
elementary
feels
school,
sunshine.
so.
All right. Anything further?
Other business, if I may?
Yeah.
We would like to recommend nominating Mr. Hart to the CIP.
Second.
Boy, that was quick. Take Kathy's place. He's shown an interest in serving at a much deeper level.
Do you have a motion to that effect?
I thought
I
you
made the motion.
I seconded it.
Seconded? Oh, okay. All right. Any further discussion?
No.
You slipped the knife in so quickly.
I am Italian. I mean,
Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
all right.
Now we're down to approval of minutes from 4/7 and 4/21. They're in your package. I assume you've looked at them.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of April 7th and April 21st.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
To
Joseph?
adjourn.
Second.
All right. Thank you.
One of the things I was thinking of is it'd be nice if there would be some sort of acknowledgement for the 50, 60 years my mother